Hey guys, so I thought that I would make a video to kind of give some tips for new CNAs to kind of hopefully help you as you go into your new position or as you're looking for jobs. First of all, for someone who is looking for a job as a new CNA, I would say be open to the off shifts. Obviously, a lot of people probably want the day shift. Those tend to be snatched up very, very quickly because everybody wants that shift. And the ones that stay open the longest, honestly, are usually evening shift and the midnight shift, which would be 3 to 11 or 11 to 7. Um, so those two shifts are usually the ones that stay open the longest, in my opinion, from what I've seen, anyways. Um, Also, I would say just, be open to taking a job during those two shifts because you will learn a lot. And also, as a new CNA, those shifts are a little bit slower than the day shift. So you might be able to ease yourself into being more comfortable at work by working on those two shifts. I'm not saying that those two shifts are easier because it does depend on the facility. Sometimes, like at the hospital where I work now, um, I am supposed to be working on the night shift. I have not worked on the night shift yet since I've been hired, and I've been working there for almost an entire month now. And even on night shift, we have to get our patients up and walking. I work on an orthopedics unit, and we have to have our patients up and walking on every single shift. So, even on midnight shift, we don't really have as quiet of a shift as you would maybe if you were in a nursing home, because I know when I was working at the nursing home, night shift was pretty quiet. It wasn't really all that active. You would have a few people who stayed up and or who weren't able to sleep, and so you didn't really have very many people. But you know, obviously it depends on the facility, it depends on the patients, and it depends on the needs of or company policy, whatever. I would also say make sure that you are open to learn. Don't go into it thinking that you know everything. Just have the mindset where you are willing to learn. You're willing to kind of suck it up and let people tell you, because there will be people, and I absolutely hate this, but there will be people who think that they are just so much better than you because they've been a CNA for I don't know how many years, or for so long, so much longer than you, and they think that makes them better than you. Excuse me. Um, I personally don't feel that way. I think that, you know, if you have been a CNA longer than someone else, you should take that person under your wing and mentor them. I don't feel like it should be competitive, um, but it does happen. There are those types of people who do kind of make it competitive, or they feel like you are encroaching on their territory, so to speak. I would also say don't take things personally. People can tell when you're new. People, whether you're in a hospital setting or whether you're in a nursing home setting, residents and patients, they can kind of tell when you're new, when you're uncomfortable, when you're learning. Sometimes you tend to sit back away from things. You kind of stay back and kind of observe a little bit, which is completely fine. Um, Even now at the hospital, there's still things that I'm learning that I have never done before, like bladder scans and things like that. Um, in CNA training, we never went over stuff like that, so it's new to me. So I've watched, there's been no times when I've done that myself. I have sat and watched it done like two times. So hopefully the next time I'll be able to jump in and just do it on my own. Um, you know, I don't see a problem with sitting and observing, but people will realize that you're new. You just have to, be pleasant, have a good attitude about things. Don't take things personally if they're used to a certain CNA or patient care tech or aide or whoever. If they say that they're more comfortable with that person taking care of them, don't get offended. Don't take it personally. Just go and get that person, or maybe have that person go into the room with you and kind of explain, that they're your friend, or that you are their friend, and that you're going to be helping them with whatever. Sometimes that helps. Other times it's just not going to work, and you have to ask to be assigned to a different patient. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't think that you have to do this all on your own. Don't think that you have to be invisible, invincible. What did I say? Invisible? Don't think that you have to be invincible. You are human. Mistakes happen. Just make sure that if something happens, that you go and tell somebody right away. Go and tell a nurse right away and let somebody know. Don't just sit there and act like nothing happened. But realize that mistakes do happen, and you are human, and it's okay. But just learn from your mistakes, so then next time you won't have the same thing happen. I think that nursing is a field where you are constantly learning, you are constantly evolving, and things are always changing. So from one day to the next, you have different things going on, and nothing is ever the same. So it's just something that you are constantly having to adapt to. And so I think if you stay in the mindset of adaptability, then that's definitely something that will be helpful. Um, I would say, just like I said, be helpful. Make sure that you ask for help if you need it. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Like I said, you are not invincible. You are human. It's okay to make a mistake. Don't take things personally. If you don't know something about a patient and it is not written on their care card or your assignment sheet, go and ask the nurse. Do not attempt to do something without knowing it. For example, like I said, I work in an orthopedics unit, or on an orthopedics unit. We have people who are post-surgical, meaning they recently had surgery, or they are about to have surgery sometimes. And, a lot of times they are hip fractures or bone fractures. Sometimes they're spinal fractures. And we have to transfer those patients in a certain way. And a lot of times when they first come to us, they are non-weight bearing, and a lot of them are confined to their beds for a certain period of time. So if I was to just, if someone had just had spinal surgery and I tried to move them without even knowing that they were non-weight bearing, or that, they weren't supposed to get out of bed, and I just tried to do it anyway because I thought that that's what needed to be done, then I could be in a world of hurt, and I could cause them more harm, which could lead to them needing additional surgery or other treatment needed for them. So just make sure that if there is something, like I said, that is not written on their care card or on your assignment sheet, go and ask the nurse. In my case, I would ask the nurse, or physical therapy, or even the doctor. Ask whoever you can. If a nurse is not available, like I said, there's other people you can ask. But I would definitely say the nurse is probably the best one to ask. I just feel like, it can definitely be overwhelming when you're a new CNA, because it's just constant information, and it's changing all the time. I definitely felt that. I've been there, and even now, I've been a CNA for about a year now, and even at the orthopedics unit, I am learning so much more than I've learned, even in CNA training and all that. I'm learning constantly. Um, so anyways, I hope these have been helpful tips. If you would like more tips, then let me know. And I'm going to be making some more CNA related videos in the near future. So stay tuned. I will also have nursing school related videos to come soon, because I am on the journey. I am starting nursing school this summer. So we'll see where it leads me, and stay tuned for all of that lovely information. And I will talk to you guys again soon.